Hello. Numa282 here, and welcome back to the podcast, to the pod. It's a podcast. I keep trying to deny it in my head. But this is what this is. This is a fucking podcast. Okay, guys? This is what it is. So, again, this is Numa282 here, but you can call me Numa. And welcome to the 282. Why get the 411 when you can get the 282? See, I think it's clever, okay? This is me. All right, let's address the elephant in the room now that I've been addressed. Just kidding. Kind of. Let's address the microphone. I'm using a microphone. So first off, this is not a flattering sweater when I'm sitting. My God. This is not the first time I've recorded this podcast. So this episode was actually recorded about a week ago originally. And I used my little earbuds and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so great. Girl, audio was trash. My editor, Andrew, lovely editor, he said, hey, fat bitch. And then he punched me in the face. No, he didn't. I'm just kidding. That'd be crazy. No, he did tell me, though, that the audio was garbage. And he was like, listen, we can do it. And I was like, no, I need to figure out a new way to do audio anyways. So he, lovely editor that I have, gave me this mic to use. It's very, very nice. Hopefully, I'm hoping this sounds great. And now it's also fun because I'm like, I'm going to perform for you guys. Yeah, I'm going to go full, like, my Lola will be proud. I'm just going to go full Filipino on this podcast and just start doing karaoke. No, probably not. But I have a lot of things to talk about. And I already spoke about them earlier in the week. And my ideas have changed. They've changed. So things are going to be somewhat the same. You won't know. You didn't see the last episode. Who's this for? Anyways, I got my vanilla Coke. I was going to drink an Alani because I do that a lot. But then I was like, I might want to sleep after this. I don't know. We're going to find out. So hopefully I can get this out in the next few days. So it is still a November podcast. But either way, this is the November episode. Okay. All right. So let's just start this off. Okay. We're going to start this off with a topic that I went on a tangent on last time. We're going to see if I replicate, if I replicate that experience. The Gen Z stare. I don't think it exists. I think to a certain degree it does. And this is something because I keep seeing these comments, and originally, like, you know, the younger millennials, older Gen Z were like in agreement on this. And then at some point it switched. And I'm starting to notice. Now, I am of that. It depends on what article you look at. I'm a Gen Z. I'm a millennial. So I tend to just lean in Gen Zennial. I do identify more with Gen Z in terms of just media and social ideas and just stuff like that. But there's still some millennial parts of me. Like, unfortunately, I'm a fucking Harry Potter fan. I hate J.K. Rowling. I will say this with every ounce of my blood. I do my best to only consume fan-made Harry Potter content because J.K. Rowling is just a mean woman, you know? And I've had a lot of people where they're like, well, you know, but she doesn't she's actually really great to the gay community. I'm like, first of all, I don't really know of any evidence of that. And second of all, no, she's not. The gay community includes our trans brothers, sisters, and other, okay? Protect the fucking dolls. You do not understand, like, I will stand by, like, I stand by this every time somebody gives me a soapbox to talk about this. Our community, the LGBTQ plus community, nothing would exist without trans people. Trans women specifically. I mean, a trans woman threw the first brick at Stonewall, okay? I am at this point where I need the other members of our community to stand the fuck up, guys. Seriously, especially right now. First of all, the fact that people want to divide us in any way, shape, or form, when in our fucking country, it has not been this hard to be queer in our country. It's starting to feel like the early 2000s again, where like there's hope for change, but things are still bad. And that's kind of where we're at, but in a fucking reverse. And I don't love it. Okay. Like, listen, we barely skated by with the Supreme Court stuff recently. Okay. They're going to try it again. This is not meant to be an inherently political podcast, but I'm angry as shit, as should every other queer person in the fucking country, in the world. But I digress. I don't remember how I got to this. Protect the dolls. That's the moral of this story. Anyways, the Gen Z stare. Right. Doesn't, oh no, wait. So it was about Harry Potter. Right. So like, okay, unfortunately, Hogwarts Legacy, she was that bitch. I loved that game. It's a great game. I've replayed it a bunch of times. I tell people now, especially since it's been out for a while, if you're going to play it, maybe sail the seven seas. Maybe. If you know, you know. But also, from what I read and what I understood, the developers fucking hated her. So like, I love that, like gagged, you know, and I stand by it. I started to reread the series a while ago, and I was reminded like, oh, I loved these as a kid. There's a lot of reasons why I loved them. Unfortunately, these stories, the narrative, the world, it did shape me like as a child. It helped me kind of escape to somewhere when I was, you know, being fruity and the child of, you know, the from a family of immigrants in a small town that was not kind to anybody who was different. You know, it wasn't amazing there. And it took me a while to get my footing in that town. And even then it was, you know, I was lying to myself and the people around me for my own safety and my own conflictions. And Harry Potter gave me that kind of escape. But I will say this, even though I love the lore and I love the world to a certain point, the moment you try to pick it apart, it crumbles. And that's my biggest issue is like, you know, I read those books again as an adult and I'm like, damn, these were written for kids originally. And even though the topics got heavier, it felt like the writing didn't evolve. Now, I won't deny it, you know, she did her thing. Homegirl, Miss Just Kidding, did her thing. But she then proceeded to become a really awful and cruel person. Just an actual bully. So nowadays, if I'm consuming any kind of Harry Potter media, I am consuming mostly fan-made content. I'm on AO3, guys. I'm on AO3. Let me hear the applause. I'm on AO3. Okay. I never was on AO3 as a kid. I was on fanfiction.net. And AO3 as an adult, whoa. You know, I'm in, like, right now I'm back in my Teen Wolf era on AO3. That's right. And I'm not doing, I do read some Sterek because originally Derek Hale was supposed to be like 19. No, he was supposed to be younger because he like dropped out of school or just graduated or something. He was supposed to be more appropriate aged to be with somebody like Styles. That's right, guys. I have been reading some Sterek stuff and it's fucking good. I wanted it so bad too. Like when I was in high school, like, oh my God. To this day too, I'm going to say, I don't know if my old friend, so my best friend, my senior year of high school, Bryn, I don't know if she's still like, if she even watches anything of I doubt it, honestly, because I'll maybe send her a nice message on Snapchat or Instagram like once a year. She's living this beautiful life with her beautiful family. Like, I am so proud of her in every way, shape, or form. And I tell her that, you know, when I get the chance. I still have a theory. I spoiled. Okay, spoilers for Teen Wolf, guys. In 2014, I spoiled Allison's death to her because she followed me on Twitter and I live tweeted and I literally out loud, like I on Twitter said, Allison just died. That's crazy. I ruined that for her because she wasn't going to get to watch till like the following night or something. And I'm not saying that's what made us drift apart, but it does. I do think if I pinpoint a moment where things started to be different between us, I think it was there. And you know what, Bryn, if you're watching this, I miss you like crazy. You were such an important person in my high school, you know, life. Like you were one of the only other fucking liberal people in that godforsaken high school. and you were my escape, truly. The amount of the memories we made in that little slug bug of yours to this day, I love you, girl. But also, if you drop me because I spoiled Teen Wolf, you were right. I'm so sorry. That was my bad. That was my bad. Anyways, so yeah, so I'm on AO3, guys. Okay. And I've been reading some Harry Potter shit, guys, and I'm not proud of it. No, I am, because again, she doesn't make any fucking money off AO fucking 3. Let me tell you guys. So Teen Wolf, I've discovered that I have a thing for, like, I don't even know what you would call it, best friends to lovers, because I was originally a Steric like supremacist, and then I read a Scott and Styles fic. Oh, I wasn't ready. I also read a lot of Styles and Isaac fic, and that's really nice too, because Isaac is wow. But then I read a Scott and Styles fic, and it was also an Allison and no, it was a Kira and Lydia fic as well. And I was like, oh, I wasn't ready. I was not ready. And it was amazing. And so I was like, it opened my eyes, and I was like, okay, what if I dive back into the AO3 world of Harry Potter? And I did. Let me tell you, because it used to be I read the Harry Draco stuff. I read the Hermione stuff, okay? As an adult, ew. I actually can't do it. My sister's a huge Draco and Hermione fan. I cannot do Draco and Hermione. I also can't do Harry and Draco, mainly because I have evolved, and I'm sorry. Bully to lovers is one thing when it's not as long as it was there. You made 90% of their life in school, not just high school. This is 7 years of their lives. A living hell. Like you multiple times tried to kill them. And you were, yes, you were a member of the Nazi people because of your father, but like you weren't quiet about your opinions. And I understand that I only like a Harry and Draco fic if Harry and Draco get together when they're adult, like well into adulthood. And I like it. Okay. I've enjoyed it. I've also enjoyed some, Neville and Draco fics, truly. However, Harry and Ron, book Ron, by the way, because I love Rupert Grint. I do not like movie Ron. He is the epitome of spineless and kind of just a bad friend to everybody, and I stand by that. Like one of the changes that they made in the movie that I didn't love was, I think it's Prisoner of Azkaban, where Snape asked the class something about, I think it's Prisoner of Azkaban, because he asked the class something about werewolves, and Hermione answers, and then he calls her an insufferable know-it-all. In the book, Ron stood up for her and got in trouble. Like he said something like you asked the question or something. Like he stood up. In the movie, he says he's not wrong. What a bitch. What a little bitch. I digress. Harry and Ron, though. Whoa, guys. Whoa. He got with the wrong ginger, and I stand on this. I did not realize until the last year that outside of Seamus and, oh my God, I can't think of, is it Seamus? I can't think of their names. Colin? I don't know. You guys know who I'm talking about. Outside of them, I think my top shipping is Harry and Ron. Also, Harry and this is where you could tell I've been kind of removed from a lot of the content for a while. Whichever of the twins survives, that's another good ship, another good couple fics I've read is them getting together, finding their happiness in each other, and I do adore that. But anyways, what the fuck was I talking about? I'm unfortunately a Potterhead, but only again when it's fan made content. I am working on a tabletop like RPG style game set in Hogwarts. But again, everything I do is in spite of J.K. Rowling, not because of. Anyways, that is not even the fucking point. What this started was me saying that even though for the most part I identify more with Gen Z, I do have unfortunately some elder millennial stuff. I'm not an elder millennial. I know that. Okay. My older sister's not even an elder millennial. There's a few years above her, and that's when you're at the top of the millennial chain. I am at the very bottom to the point to where I've been told my entire life I'm either not a millennial or I am. So I straddle the line. Anyways, all that being said, the Gen Z stare does not exist most of the time. Every time I've heard these stories about people like talking about the Gen Z stare, my first thing to ask is, what did you say to them first, though? And they usually respond with like, oh, what do you mean? What did I say to them? I just asked them a question. What was the question? Because 9 times out of fucking 10, guys, when the Gen Z stare occurs, when they do it's because you just said the most insane, batshit, stupidest shit they've ever fucking heard. Like, I'm talking, when you get that stare, 9 times out of 10, it's because you walked up to a fucking movie theater. And you walked up to the desk at a movie theater and you said, do you guys sell like video game stuff too? You walked up to a fucking Bass Pro Shop counter and you said, hey, do you guys have any Rick and Morty merch? Like, you ask the stupidest fucking question, or you say the most insane shit, and then expect them to not respond. Because it's either the Gen Z stare or they're leaping over the counter and they're beating your shit in. And you deserve it. I'm sorry, you torture retail workers. And I'm going to say it, even if by accident, ignorance is not fucking bliss, you dumb bitch. You deserve to get attacked. And by the way, just so we're all clear, I use the word bitch a lot. I mean it in a non-gendered way, okay? Gay people, we be using it. And I'm 3/4 gay on my dad's side. So I used to say my mom's side, but I've seen my dad drunk. Anyways, no. But for real though, like, the Gen Z stare doesn't exist. There are times, don't get me wrong. I do have some issues, not issues with the younger parts of the generation. Same with Gen Alpha. The biggest issue that I'm running into, though, is that the media literacy thing is real. That scares the living hell out of me. The amount of, like, I struggle so much to watch a lot of TV shows, and like modern TV shows. And it's because I think Jamila Jamil, is that her name? Homegirl from The Good Place. I think that's her name. I love her either way. Gorgeous woman. Very talented. But she had gone on a podcast and talked about when she was like, I think she was pitching TV shows or she was learning about pitching TV shows. And there's this new thing where they don't want to push a show unless a person on their phone not paying attention can passively grasp what's going on. Which is why you guys will notice that in a lot of modern movies and a lot of TV shows, you get this really cringy dialogue where, like, they state the fucking obvious, or they tell you something that normally would be given to you in context clues. Like, let me give an example, okay? In a normal movie that is... I actually have a movie that I loved. I adored it. So I'm gonna talk about it. But there was the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. I loved it. Truly. I loved it. I think everybody did such a great job. And I loved the twist. I don't know why you guys are bitching. I enjoyed the hell out of that twist. Yes, it was out of left field. That's the fucking point. I love that twist. I'm not going to spoil the twist. If you have watched any of the other, or if you watch the other two, because the third one doesn't exist. We pretend it doesn't exist. If you watch the other two, I Know What You Did Last Summers, that twist is so good. And I genuinely enjoy it because I'm like, yeah, I get that. I get how that could happen. Anyways, so I love the twist. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about the opening scene. Our girl, by the way, love the new Final Girl. Obsessed with her and Madeline Klein's character. Thanks, Madeline Klein. They both fucking knocked it out of the park. Okay, right? I'm obsessed with them. So, the opening scene is her getting ready to go out to something, right? Now, in an older movie, what you would get is you would get her trying on the different outfits, maybe making a little quip, like, putting on a dress, and it would cut to her being in the dress in the mirror, doing like a little montage, and being like, oh, yeah, I graduated top of my class. Like something like that. Like it would be like that. And then like as she would leave, it would kind of focus in on like a photo of an older woman with her, and she would say, "Wish you were there with me, Mom." And that would be it. You would get all the context you need. She is on her way to a party. She hasn't seen a lot of these people since she left the town, and her mother is dead and she misses her. That is what you would get, right? And I'm going to massively paraphrase. A paraphrase? Hey, that's 2 French fries. Anyways, I'm going to massively paraphrase this scene, but I promise you, even though what I'm doing is an exaggeration, it is not by fucking much. And it's upsetting how little it is. So it's the same concept. She's doing a montage trying on different outfits. And she's like frustrated. She goes, "Oh, hi, insert character name here. I know I haven't seen you since that summer, but I figured I'd bump into you today at my best friend so-and-so's engagement party, whom I also haven't spoken to since that summer, and blah, blah, blah. No, I know it's weird that this, and this happened, and that me and you have this weird tumultuous past, but it's okay. You look great." And then, again, this is not direct, but I'm not fucking far off, guys. It zooms in on the photo like I said it should have, but then she goes, "Miss you more and more every day, Mom. Can't believe you're dead. Exactly 3 years ago today." Like some shit like that. Again, guys, I'm exaggerating, but not by enough for it to matter. And that is what's upsetting. The rest of the movie, I really enjoyed. There was a lot of cool fake outs. I think the horror was, it's a slasher flick, so horror is subjective in this situation. Horror is always subjective. But slasher flicks, some find them scary, some don't. I don't really find them scary, but I find them suspenseful, and it had great suspense, okay? I really loved, there was a lot of almost dying for a lot of characters, and there was one death that I wish would happen. I know it's because I just saw right when we saw this movie in theaters, I just saw Final Destination Bloodlines before it. And I was expecting a specific door to come into effect when someone died. It didn't. It actually did a lot of almost like a Final Destination style buildup showing off the door, which makes me think there was maybe it was originally intended to be used. I don't know. But it was a great movie, but that opening scene hurt. And that's so much of what I'm seeing in today's television shows where, I don't get me wrong. I will fuck off on my phone if I don't care about what's going on. I've been doing that since I was a kid, though. I've been doing that where if I didn't care about what was going on, I'd pull out a book and read. Not everything is going to be enjoyable to me, but I don't think you should punish the entirety of society because you're worried that younger people aren't going to like your show. And yes, I know that there's kind of almost a gimme. That's not what I want to say, but there's something there because you watch TV shows like Wednesday, which by the way, I love Wednesday. I think it's such a fun show. I think they do a really good job. They do a really good job. Jenna Ortega is one of the best fucking actresses of our generation, of any generation. Truly, I'm obsessed with her. She's so good at what she does. But what bothers me a lot is this spoon feeding that modern television does. They'll turn around and they will tell you exactly what's happening, exactly what's going to happen. And then it does. And you're just like, why did I even watch the rest of the episode then? Because again, I'm going to give another fake. This is a purely fake example. I don't have an actual show to pull from, but it's in an old TV show, you would see a character is like sneaking around or like disguised and walking through, and she looks over and the camera will kind of focus in on like maybe a Polaroid that's taped to a window. And on that Polaroid, there's like there's 4 numbers, and it'll kind of focus in on it. And then she'll like head into the next room. A couple things will happen. And then she'll sit there and she'll be like trying to like figure out the code to get into this computer. And then she'll look over and she'll see the same photo that she saw in the Polaroid, but in a picture frame on the desk. And it'll be implied, oh, right, she saw that photo. So then she puts in those 4 digits and boom, she's in. That is how it would have happened in, I would even say, up to the late 2010s. Now, the way that same scene would work, she would be walking through and she would look over. She would see the Polaroid. She would out loud go, "What's that Polaroid?" And then it would zoom in closer on the numbers. And she would go, 4763. Huh, I wonder if that'll be useful at some point. Like a video game protagonist. And then she'll go into the next room. The stuff will happen. And then she'll be there and she'll get on the computer and she'll be like, "Oh, I don't know the password." And then she'll turn. The camera will focus on that framed photo and she'll go, "Oh my God. That's just like the Polaroid that was on the window." Then it will like flash back to 30 seconds before, and it'll show a close up of that Polaroid. And then it will blur it all out except for the numbers. And she'll be like, "That's it. That's the code. The code that was on the Polaroid. The Polaroid that's the same photo as the picture frame I'm looking at right now. 7463. That's the code." And then she'll type it in. I knew it. And then the scene would be over. Again, I wish that was more of an exaggeration than it is. Truly grinds my gears, y'all. I wish we could be more, I'm not even saying be more present. I rot on my phone too, okay? I get it. I love it. But holy shit, guys. I don't think we need to consume all the fucking media at once. And you know what? While I'm bitching about stuff like this, I need to ask a general question. So if somebody can please tell me, okay? So why do we need to 2x everything? Seriously. And like I've heard that this is considered an accessibility feature and it's used for, I believe, ADHD. Like ADHD is what a lot of people, claim, like, oh, well, it allows us to absorb the content and that keeps up with our brains. I don't know. And like, if there is studies, if there is evidence, if there is actual physical evidence that this works, please share it with me. Because so my boyfriend, Jacob, heavily ADHD. Like I'm talking, it's severe. Like he's professional with the amount of screens he'll have up. I mean, I'm talking he'll be on his phone playing a game with a YouTube video on in the background. Like he is on it all. I'll sit there next to him and he'll do a 2x and watch a whole video and then move on to the next thing. And I go, I'll stop there and I'll go, "What was that video about?" And he'll be like, "I don't remember." I'm like, "Okay, so you didn't consume the media then. You passively got it, but then you didn't keep it. It was immediately gone." Because like I'm hearing a lot of people are mad that YouTube is putting, first of all, they're mad that YouTube's putting the speed up feature behind the paywall. Don't get me wrong, YouTube, stop making everything cost money. Come on, guys. You're a bajillion-dollar company or whatever at this point. You can relax. But also, you can still do 2x without premium. You shouldn't be doing anything more than that. You are not the Flash when he's trying to catch up in the TV show. Like that, I don't care who you are. Your brain does not go that fast. You're lying. You are lying to me. But 2x, is it really helping you? Because people were like mad and saying it was like an ableist thing and that it was, it's an accessibility feature that people need for their disability. And I just want to understand if that is truly the case. Not just us using therapy buzzwords and mental disability buzzwords and seeing what happens. If that is truly the case, why? Do you truly consume? Because I know Brittany Broski just said something about this on a podcast a few weeks ago or whatever, where she was like mad that she couldn't do some TikTok videos in 2 weeks, and she's like, but also I don't fucking need that. I don't fucking know. I'm not consuming anything when I do that, and I agree. The only time I do 2x is when I'm watching a video and they're not getting to the fucking point. And I'm like, all right, I need you to get to the point. But even then, if it wasn't there, I would either stick it through it or leave. Speaking of Broski and friends, I'm adding House of Mar to the list of my dream shows / podcast to be on, just because I think I'd have fun with those girls. Okay. So there's my rant about that. In a similar font theme, we're gonna skip to the book club section of this episode. You guys are getting a lot of feet for free today. You're welcome, I guess. My feet are fucked up. I look like I grew up kicking bricks, guys. They're not great. The bottom of them look like I do cartwheels on cheese graters. Sorry. So that's for anybody listening to just audio. You guys can get that little beautiful visual. I don't know. Like, I'm so sorry if you hate sounds. ASMR time. So, okay. I finished reading Strange Houses by Uketsu. Right? Is that what it was? I think so. Anyways, it was good. On Goodreads, I gave it like a 3 out of 5, right? Here's why. So it's very similar to what a lot of my gripes are with modern media, where there is a mystery in the book. I'm not going to spoil it, but from what I read, from what I was looking at, it seemed like this book was going to give you this mystery, and then you were going to, sit with it, looking through the different blueprints, figuring stuff out, formulating your own theories, which you can still do that. But within the first, I'm possibly hyperbolizing, within the first 15 minutes, the main character, the narrator, whatever, guesses what the mystery is, guesses what the twist is, guesses the most off the wall shit. I'm saying the craziest thing. And then guesses if this was a slasher, let's say you were watching Scream. The main character in this book would be a part of Scream, and his guess in the first 15 minutes of the movie, he'd go, "No, I don't think it's Billy or Stu. It's Santa Claus." And then you find out 10 minutes later, he's right, and you find out from Santa Claus's daughter. I don't mind how crazy and batshit the twist is in this book. I don't. But they did not let me sit with that mystery for long enough to formulate my own thought. At first, when he made the guess, again, it has nothing to do with Santa. This is just what I'm using as a level of craziness, and it is. But it's the Santa guess comes, and at first I'm like, oh, okay, so this must be just something this is first guess. It's crazy. It's probably gonna either be something closer, or he's going to figure out it's even crazier than that. And then it's revealed by a character shortly after that, oh, you're right, that is it. And I'm just like, what was my purpose here as a reader? There was no suspense. I wasn't left with the mystery. I mean, it was an overall interesting read. I love the format of the book. I love the layout. Apparently this Uketsu guy, he is a YouTuber who he dons a mask and a black robe, and he only speaks using a voice changer. I want to watch it. I don't know how accessible his stuff is to English speakers because I don't speak Japanese. But apparently he's really cool, and he does these really spooky sketch mystery things that people love. So I am going to read Strange Pictures, his other book, which has phenomenal reviews. And a lot of people who've read both have said, don't let this deter you from reading Strange Pictures, because Strange Pictures is that good. So I love it. Okay. I adore it. I also read Uncensored Picture of Dorian Gray. Obsessed. I love the original. So the original version of Picture of Dorian Gray, I read in high school for my advanced English class. I loved it. It is to this day one of, if not my favorite books ever written. Actually, no, it is almost my favorite book ever written. Then I, of course, watched The Broski Report, which I do. I never went right when they come out. It's always a week later because I have to get caught up. I throw it into my watch later and then it gets looped in whenever I'm ready. When the universe decides I'm ready for it. So she recommended the book. And basically what this book is it's the original manuscript? Yeah, it's the original manuscript that Oscar Wilde sent to his publisher. And then they were like, whoa, hey, bro, Queen. Hey, Queen. We're in Victorian America? I think he was American. Anyways, we're in the Victorian times, home slice. They are not ready to be this gay. Mind you, by this gay, I mean like it's still very subtle by today's standards. Like I saw people being upset that it wasn't straight up smut. They barely spoke about sex back then, let alone wrote about it. Let's calm down, guys. But it is a lot clearer what the intentions are. I want to say it's more graphic. At the end of it, there's a like a murder that takes place, and then I feel like I don't remember it being that insane, the way it was described. I could be wrong. It's been like literally 12 years since I read the original iteration, but this is one of, if not the best read ever. I adore this version of the book. It starts, the prologue is just a huge retelling of Oscar Wilde's history and what happened to him in his life. So fucking sad. I love this book. There are a lot of things, though, I will say, going into it, remember the time, okay? There are a couple things that Mr. Wilde wrote about certain groups of people that I was like, whoo. I had to, like, pause and take a breather because, my God, hatred's been alive and well forever, guys. But it's such a good fucking book, guys. Read it. I love it so much. I want to say it's my favorite fucking book, guys. I think it's my favorite book. It's between like that. I really loved Cell by Stephen King. That was like one of my favorite books as a teenager. I think it's Uncensored Picture of Dorian Gray. I mean, Hunger Games is another one. That, and then there's a book called Ashes that I love. I need to read that full trilogy. I've only read the first book. I read it in my popular fiction class in high school. Best class, by the way. Oh my God. Miss Fox, if you ever watch my stuff, just know your class shaped me as a person. I think I've said this before. So I started to read Willows by Algernon Blackwood, which is another classic piece of literature. It's very short. I decided I'm going to save it for later because I dove into that and I was like, whoa, I need a break before reading another book that requires me to whip out a fucking dictionary. They love the way the bitches spoke, man. They used some flowery fucking language back then. And trust me, I use my SAT words. Okay. I know my vocab. All right. But even me, I'm like, damn, y'all need to calm the fuck down. Too eloquently they be speaking. So instead, I'm reading Heated Rivals, the smutty gay hockey player book that is so good. And I want to watch episode 1 of the new series, but I don't want the book to be ruined for me. So I'm like torn. I'm like, do I just speed through reading it and then get caught up when I'm done? I don't know, because the actors are so fine. I need to see them make out. And if anybody's like, oh, do I want to read it? Like, you know, if you are a fan of smut, like truly smut, girl, they are the first chapter. No, not even the first chapter. Sorry. The prologue. They are fucking sucking and clucking. Y'all are not ready. Like I was held aghast. And I grew up on uncensored Tumblr, guys. So for me to be like, ooh, it's good. I do not read it in public because I feel things. I don't want to be in a public space when I feel those things. So I'm reading that. And then, of course, I'm going to start Strange Pictures. Literally just got here yesterday. So I'm going to today because it was on. No, it got here. Yes, it got here today because I ordered it yesterday because there was a Black Friday deal on it. So I got it for like $8. I'm excited to read that. I am. I read the other one in one day. I'm sure I'll do the same thing with this one. But I need to. That's gonna be my secondary read while I read Heated Rivals. I want to get into the meat and potatoes of this video. Mind you, we're 45 minutes in or whatever. We're going to get into the meat and potatoes now. We're getting an Animal Crossing update, and it's coming out 2 days before my birthday. I have dove into Animal Crossing. New Horizons, sorry. And I have been a fan of the series since the get-go, okay? I own every single iteration. The only one I'm missing is the original Japanese Nintendo 64 edition. I'm getting it. I just have to order it because I want to own it for collection purposes. It is genuinely so fun. I know a lot of people like shit on New Horizons, and don't get me wrong, there's things I don't love that they got rid of or they tweaked. New Horizons is still a phenomenal game. So anybody who tries to say like, oh, it's garbage, shut up. First of all, you're still playing it. Second of all, yes. Do I think that they didn't do enough to make you want to play it for a long haul? Absolutely. I had not touched the game in almost a year since the last time. Because I usually pick it up around Halloween because I love to decorate my town for Halloween, Thanksgiving, or Halloween, the fall, and then Christmas. But I actually mostly got on after that update because I was like, okay, well, I need to finally finish my Critterpedia and I need to get my town ready for this new update. It's going to be insane. If you guys haven't seen the news and you're fans of Animal Crossing, go to Nintendo's, just look up Animal Crossing 3.0 and you'll see the trailer. It's crazy, the amount of shit they're doing. So here's the thing. This probably means that we're going to not see Animal Crossing 6 for a long fucking time. Some people have theories, and I know these are probably wrong, but I want them to be right. Some people do have a couple theories that they're basically playtesting some of the easier features they want to add into the next one just to see how they go over. And I really hope that's true because I really want Animal Crossing. I think if they want to boost the Switch 2 sales, Animal Crossing 6 would do it. Now, what would we get in Animal Crossing 6? That's what we're here for, guys. This is my Animal Crossing, my AC6, Assassin's Crossing, Animal Creed 6 wish list. Okay, let's start right off the bat. More variety and personality types. I love the people that are I love the animals, but holy shit, once you've played for a month, you've heard every single fucking dialogue out of these guys. I just now found out because I'm kind of doing a soft reset on my villagers. I'm only keeping like 2 or 3 of my ones that I had currently. I did find out that there are sub archetypes. So like there's like Cranky A and Cranky B, and there are some differences, and it also changes based off what their hobbies are. I just got Hans. He's a Yeti and I love him. I just got him into my village and I'm already noticing differences between him and then like Raymond. So I am noticing some slight differences, but for the most part, there's not enough variety. Which also means I need them to bring back mean villagers. I'm not just talking about like when Judy accidentally says something that sounds kind of mean. No, I'm talking about like when they would literally be like, wow, you look weird. And not like weird in a cool way, but like weird in a you need to go home right now way. Like when they would say the most off the wall shit. Oh my God. There is a character, and I'm getting him in my village now, okay? In the original Animal Crossing for the GameCube, his name was Grizzly. I hated him, okay? He was so mean. He was cranky, which that's his thing. He's cranky. And he was rude, and he was like, why are you talking to me? Like, literally, there would be some villagers where you would go up to them, and they would be like, I don't know why you're talking to me. What do you want? And then, like, I got to know him. And I started talking to him either way. I was like, I'm going to kill him with kindness. I sent him letters. Now, were the letters death threats? Yeah, but they couldn't read it. They don't know. So I sent them letters. And then watching them slowly become kind to my character, Grizzly is now one of my favorite characters of all time. My favorite villager is Lily, okay? Lily is my all-time favorite villager. It used to be Midge, which you could argue that, especially in the modern game, Lily and Midge are basically the same character. But there's just something about Lily. I don't know if it's because she is my color palette. I don't know what. But her and Merengue have stolen my heart as my favorite villagers ever. And I think Grizzly's up there. And I'm like, I'm getting him in my town. I need him. I love Grizzly. So bring back mean villagers, and I want them to bully me. I want to receive a letter that says, hey, saw this, thought of you instantly, and then receive a trash can or a toilet. So, yeah. Next on my list of villager things, we need to 10? That's it? I can only have 10 people living in my fucking island? No. Give me more. I think we had like 15 in New Leaf. Why did we go back? Give me more. Okay. Bring back. Also, they need to bring back. What was her name? It was the cat and the dog that were like robots and they had screens on their faces. Those are meant for the modern age. Are you kidding me? Bring those back. Bring back I need an Animal Crossing Ultimate. Bring back every single villager we've ever had and then add like 15 more. I really need, like, I think Epona was an older villager. I could be wrong. But also that should be. If we don't have an Epona Animal Crossing villager, fuck you. I want Wolflink to come back. I need them to do this, okay? I am curious as to why the only 2 Legend of Zelda villagers they're adding with this update coming out is Tulin and Minoru. That's so fucking random. They're 2 characters that have never interacted with each other either. It is so random. I would have preferred if they actually gave us like, I think they should have brought back Wolflink and then made a dragon Zelda character. I came up with that on the fly, guys. That would cook. Like, genuinely imagine, kind of like Drago, the dragon lizard. Imagine him, but cunty and colored like Zelda's. Sorry. Spoilers for Tears of the Kingdom if you haven't played it. But colored the way that Zelda was when she was a dragon. Tell me I'm fucking wrong. Like, I get the idea of adding a Zonai, so add more characters. I'm down, okay? But am I still excited? Yeah. Normally I only do like 1 character from like a set because like I only have Chai from the Hello Kitty set. I'm not getting, I don't care about Splatoon. I'm not getting either of the squirrels that are being added to this game. I'm just getting Tulin and Minoru, okay? Tulin's gonna live in a bamboo mountaintop while Minoru lives in a beachside forest, like tech house, because she was like the smart one. She did like magic and tech and stuff. She was the construct. Anyways, so I'm gonna do that. But yeah, give us 15 villagers and bring back everybody, dude. But give us more than 15 villagers. I need Animal Crossing 6 to go fucking crazy, okay? I need them to go insane. I want more business. I want businesses. Let me take what we did in the Happy Home Designer DLC. Let me build a coffee shop. Let villagers randomly work their part-time. And then, so let me do that. Let me build a Brewster outside of the museum. Then let me build, that's what you did in New Leaf. You can get Brewsters. You can get an actual coffee shop outside, and you put it where you wanted it, I think. Then let me get other businesses, okay? Let me open up a shoe shop for kicks. Let me open up a hospital. Let me open up a school. Let me do especially like with crafting stuff, you could like every Saturday they could have like seminars where you can learn stuff, and like maybe like the first Saturday of the month it is crafting stuff, or maybe like the second Saturday of the month your character can learn how to breathe hold their breath longer. Just stuff like that. Let us have these things that make us want to play more. Yes, does it feel like it's extending things out? Of course, but that's what I want. You guys are just gonna have to deal with what looks like, from this angle at least, my titties. This is not a flattering sweater, but I do when I'm sitting. It's really cute when I'm standing up. Trust me. So yeah, let us do businesses. Let us build businesses. And then also those NPCs that are in those businesses. So Brewster, Katrina, Sable, Mabel, Labelle, the Nooks, Isabel, give them homes when they are not. Because most places outside of, I'll say this, the town hall, most places are not 24 hours in this game. When it is their off time, let them roam. And like, I'm cool with them like having just like an apartment above their business or a home above their business or something. But let us have that. Please. Oh my God. I wish I could become friends. Like, do you know how much better it would have been creating that friendship with, is it Sable or whichever one was antisocial? If you could interact with her outside of the store. I love it. Truly. I think it would be so great. So if you're listening, Nintendo, do that. Let's see. Oh, okay. I'm over tool durability. I like crafting. I don't want them to get rid of the customization stuff we've done. However, the next game, I don't want it to be about a deserted island. So let us get rid of tool durability. I don't want it to feel like survival mode anymore. I'm over that. Okay. If I want that, I'll play Dinkum because Dinkum does it better. I love Animal Crossing, but Dinkum does that style of gameplay better. Now, that being said, Brandon, if it's not a deserted island, what's the theme? Are you guys ready for this? So you take over. This is my concept. This is my pitch. You have been asked to take over a town or a city. That's right. I want archetypes. I want you to be able to choose, is your town going to be village-like? Is your town, maybe it can be island-like if you want. Is it going to be more urban, more cityscapes? What is the background like going to be around your area, maybe? Let us do that, okay? Okay. Then, just wait. So you are asked to take control, take over a ghost town, or a debilitated city that's just failed over the past few years. Honestly, this is like a Harvest Moon or Story of Seasons Harvest Moon concept that they've used before, where it's like this place used to be sprawling, but it's just not. It's not what it is anymore. So let's start over. And then you go. You get people, the better rating your town gets, the more villagers move in, the more businesses want to move in. Like, come on. I think that would be so fucking good. I've also been begging for a city style Animal Crossing, not City Folk. I do love City Folk, and I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. I do love City Folk, but I want to build an actual Animal Crossing city. I think that'd be great. Now, you could argue that destroys the small village vibes that the game has always gone for. Let's be real, especially with New Horizons, people are going to do it anyways. You might as well give them an avenue to do it successfully. When the Dream Islands come out, me and my sister are going to have a Dream Island where we turn it into a city. That's our goal. So I think that'd be great, but I'm over tool durability. Fuck you. Or at the most, man, if you're going to have tool durability, the moment I get a golden tool, it better never fucking break. That is stupid to me. I hate that. That is my reward for catching every single fish is a fishing pole that's going to break. Sure, after 200 uses, I'm playing. Come on. And even then, this is what my issue with that. Yeah, my fishing pole is almost never going to break because I caught all the fish. I'm not fishing anymore unless I'm looking for something specifically. I digress. Let me see. Rideable attractions. Okay, so Pocket Camp had stuff like this. But I have a boardwalk on my Animal Crossing village. I love it. It's one of my favorite features. It took me forever to find the pieces I want because my carnival boardwalk items that I could order in my town were all dark, gold and green. Like they were dark. I searched for pastels. I used Nookazon. I used Friends. I used everything. And I got all my pastel boardwalk items. In games like Pocket Camp, your character can hop in the Ferris wheel or the merry-go-round. Let me do that in game. And while we're on that, I think I do want them to bring back more mini games because I know there are some, and like the updates bringing back like the NES games and stuff, which is super cool. But like, there's a duck shooting like little thing for the boardwalk items. Let me click on that and then do a little duck shooting mini game. It can use the Switch's gyro controls, or you can just do targeting or whatever. By the way, would that be offensive to duck villagers? Should I not have that if I have a duck villager? I don't have one yet, but I might. Anyways, so that, and then also like in that same vein, I need my villagers to use the fucking furniture. I don't know if they have to code it to make them use them, like to make them drawn towards it more. But like, I have the one that they use the most is I have a diner that I built, an outdoor diner, and they be going up there because it's right off the town square. So when they're there, they'll mindlessly wander up the stairs and then they'll sit down and it'll be great. They'll sing to the jukebox that's in there. They'll play with the gumball machine. That's super cool. But I have so many other attractions they don't even touch. Okay? Like, for instance, there is a cafe that I have in the far back right corner. And it's like it's a cafe built on one of the rocks that overlooks the beach. The villagers can walk up there. They do not. They do not. I have never once seen a villager there, and it makes me so sad. But like have them be drawn towards like the more decorated an area is, maybe it draws more people in. So if you have like a large, like let's say you build a park with a bunch of playground equipment, I want that to be like the hub, especially for villagers that have like the play hobby. Give them something that's like, okay, so they are more drawn towards items that have the play tag on them. Something like that. I don't know how this would work because I'm not a video game designer, but we can make it happen. I'll help you. I can be the idea man, Nintendo. Just call me, please. Give me a job. And then also with villagers, make it easier to swap them. Oh my God. There should be like, I just got done swapping Hans in. So tomorrow starting I'm putting in this character Muffy, who I've always wanted to have in my village. I just never have. Because she's like this goth sheep. So I'm going to build her like a witch's shop. I'm so excited. But it takes 3 consecutive days of doing the amiibo stuff to get them to move into your village. No. Hey, no, I don't think we need to do that. Just do one day. Please, I'm over it. I'm cool with them wanting me to make them a souvenir, and then they can be convinced. That I need that, okay? So let's do that. Let's see. Jobs. Okay, so now that I'm saying like let's bring in businesses, I want to also bring in jobs. Let me have like almost like Fantasy Life kind of, which phenomenal games, by the way, the first one and the one on the Switch, amazing. Or the Fantasy Life I played on PC, but let me have like, oh, you can do like career paths. They don't need to be crazy intensive, but it's like, hey, you know, every day maybe you can like go and pick up a shift at Brewster's, and you do like a couple little mini games, you earn bells, and then you're done. And then it like gives you experience towards like your barista career. And then like maybe that's also how you upgrade those places, where like the more work you put into Brewster's, the bigger it gets, and the more features it gets, the more mini games you unlock, and the more like people that can work there at once in terms of your villagers. I think that would be really fucking fun, right? Right? It's a great idea. Sound off in the comments if you think I'm amazing. You should already be doing that. Let's see. Oh, I don't know if I think this might have only been in the first Animal Crossing. But in the first Animal Crossing, every single day, you could talk to every single villager, and there was always an option of need help with anything, and they would, I'd say 7 times out of 10, give you a task, like an errand. Like, oh yeah, Chai has my Game Boy. Can you go get it for me? And then you go to Chai, and usually Chai wasn't in the first games, but you get my. Usually Chai would be like, oh yeah, I did have Grizzly's Game Boy, but I lent it to Marina. You should go ask her for it. And then Marina would be like, oh my God, I was borrowing the Game Boy. I was borrowing the Game Boy and then I lost it. I think it's around here. And like for me, that was such a fun thing to do because it gave permanent replayability in my opinion. And I want that back. Now they'll randomly ask you for help, but they have to initiate it, not you. And I don't like that. Oh, this is a huge one that pisses me off that should be in 3.0. And this is more specifically with the clothing store, but I want it for both. If I have a specific item cataloged or in my inventory, there should be 2 check marks on every item that you are attempting to buy when you're in a menu. The first box should be a picture of your bag, like a bag, and then a check mark if you have it in your or it doesn't, like, house, a picture of a house, and then it's checked off if you have it in your storage or in your inventory, right? The second one, or in your storage, you can just do storage, I don't care. The second box should be of like a catalog, and if it's checked off, that means you have cataloged this item. So you can order it. It is something that is cataloged, especially for like now that we're doing a lot of the decorating villager homes and you have to have cataloged the items. That's that same concept for me. That needs to be, because the amount of times I have gone to the Able Sisters shop, I have bought a sweater that looked cute, and then I found out I have 5 of that same sweater in that same color because I didn't realize I already owned it. And every time I saw it, I was like, that's so cute. I feel like I remember having that. I don't. Give us a checkbox. What the fuck? Also, while I'm on the topic, a shopping cart. Not physically, but like when I am again, we're back at Abel's, okay? And honestly, when you're in the cabinet at Nooks as well, I shouldn't only be able to buy one of each clothing type because I have to put it on in the dressing room and then leave and then go back into the dressing room to buy more clothing. That is so stupid. That pisses me off. So fix that. That actually does make me mad. Give us bigger villager limits. I talked about that. Yes, I miss the post office. Oh my God, do I miss the post office? I miss waking up early enough to see the mailman. I think it was Pete flying and delivering mail. That was one of my favorite things, that when I like first woke up early in the morning before and played as a kid, I was like, this is fucking great. I also want the Lost and Found back. I love a lot of the characters. I think that Orville and I don't remember the other guy's name. The birds work really well. The dodos for the airplane. Keep the airport, okay? Or switch the airport to like a train station or a bus station or something, and it can be like a running gag of like, dodos can't fly. I don't think they can fly. I'm pretty sure they can't. Sound off if you're a ornithologist. Is that the people who like birds? I don't know. Who like birds. Anyways, but the post office and the Lost and Found need to come back. I miss Booker and the other cop. I don't remember the other one, but the dog cops, I miss them. A cab except for Booker and the other one. I absolutely adore those characters and I miss them. This is a big one, okay? This is a huge one. Fix Nook's Cranny. Oh my God. When I tell you, I was devastated when I found out we could only upgrade the damn thing like once. Guys, if you've only played New Horizons, that means you do not know the beauty of Nook and Go or Nookingtons. So let me take you down. Let me tell you. So Nook and Go was the very first one where I believe, I could be wrong here, but I believe it was 24-hour. And so you may be asking like, oh, but if the store is 24-hour, then how will the villager, you said you wanted the NPCs to be villagers. Let them swap out like Phyllis and Philly? I don't know. The two post office people, because they used to do that. At night you'd get Phyllis, in the day you would get the sweet one, Pelly or Penny. Patty. I don't know. But they do that with the twins. One of them is day shift, one of them is night shift. And then maybe like every 6 months they swap or something. I don't know. I think it'd be fun. So yeah, so Nook and Go. It was basically set up like a convenience store. And you were able to go to it. And then you were like, what's it called? So once you did that, you you could buy more stuff. They had more items. Then when you got Nookingtons, guys, Nookingtons was a Nooks department store. So the bottom floor had the usual stuff, except only smaller items. And then the top floor had furniture. And I mean, it was an entire floor of furniture that still changed every day. Holy shit, y'all, that was the best. I mean, it's just such a good iteration. Like, Nook and Go has my heart, but Nookingtons for a convenience purpose, oh my God. And it was just cool watching the store grow over time. I'm so upset that it never gets bigger. That truly broke my heart when I found out what we got as the final stage was it. So bring back Nook upgrades, all of them. Add another one. I don't care. Add like a fucking like a IKEA version. I do not care. Also, a farmer's market event would be so fun. Like, if every first Saturday there was like a farmer's market where villagers could sell like items that they have or like DIY items they made, stuff like that. That'd be really cute. I should work for this studio, man. Is that it? Is that all of my stuff I said? Oh, okay. This one is a huge long shot, possibly the longest of shots, even with my crazy ones. Multiple towns. Give us multiple save files for towns. I love that. I think it'd be really cool, especially like, think of the idea that I had for choosing like your archetype, where it's like, oh, you can have a city, but then imagine like your other save slots are the neighboring towns, and like you could get like villagers that are in those towns would randomly appear sometimes in your other town. I think that'd be so fucking great. It's kind of like on the GameCube where like you could go visit another like town in another memory card. But what was really funny is like if you spoke to a villager there, sometimes you'd have the chance of them being like, yeah, I think I'm going to move to your town. And then they do. I lost a friend when I was a kid over that, by the way. I don't know if that's actually how it worked, but we were convinced it was, and he was mad at me because I took his favorite villager. So yeah. And actually, this is not on my list, but another thing I thought about is when you have multiple human characters, which, by the way, I feel like there should be a small handful of human characters that you can get as villagers. I think that would make a lot of sense personally, because like, why are you the only one? Especially in the GameCube one, when you're in the like segregated little town. Actually, Wild World was even worse because you all shared one house. But also, that does kind of make sense because it's like, it was a handheld. Anyways, so when you're not playing as your character, let's say I have my character and I'm not playing, so Jacob gets on. Let my character roam around kind of like an NPC. I think that would be so fun. And then like you can like gift them a certain amount of items a day too. So like you could be like, oh, next time I get on and play, I'll give your character this item. You could do that with mailing technically, but I just think it'd be so fun to have like, and you could choose like your personality archetype, so that way your character has like a bunch of like NPC lines that they fire off. I think that'd be so fun. Please do that. Also, give us the option to be animals. I mean, what's a furry game without being a furry? I'm just saying, like, let me do that. I will never be a human again, though. So be warned. You let me be an animal. I'm probably going to be an octopus or something. What else do I have? So that's it for Animal Crossing, right? Okay. So I have a couple other subjects. Okay. This one is a little random, but I was talking about Harry Potter earlier. There are these girls on TikTok. It's Jenna Lou and Annalise. I think it's Jenna Lou is the main account. They do these skits where they're like Hogwarts students, but they're on like TikTok live. So they're like sitting there and they're like getting ready and they're like, who throws the best parties? Oh, Slytherin throws the best ragers, but Hufflepuff always has the best like potions and herbs, if you know what I mean. What do you think about Harry Potter? Oh, he's a little weird. I mean, like, Dumbledore's obsessed with him. It is so funny. And like genuinely, I'll find myself like playing pretend by myself, because yeah, that's right, I was a theater kid, guys. So sometimes I'll just be sitting there and I'll be sitting there and I'll just like, how fast is the train? I mean, honestly, you don't even feel it, but the train is so fast. Like, it's just such a fun thing to do. And they've done it for like a bunch of other stuff too. And I eat it up every time. Okay. I'm rewatching Charmed again. I think I talked about this last time. I am actually realizing that I do not hate the Cole storyline as much as I used to. I think he's a really fun villain, especially towards the end of his time on the show. However, I do still hate the overall concept of, oh, but he's using evil powers. With the source, it makes a little bit more sense because it's kind of like an entity is possessing him. But with non-source related powers, come on. Like, I hate it because I remember they said this shit like an episode or two after the entire episode where where they're helping the Firestarter kid. And they're like, powers don't make you evil, it's what you do with them. Cole using his powers to protect the innocent and punish like evildoers was good. And I get that they needed him to be an antagonist for the purpose of the show, but like, I really think they could have gone about it a better way. Let him be possessed. Make it turn out that even though he loves Phoebe, he just really is evil at the end of the day. Has nothing to do with his powers, because I hated that. Because like he lost his powers and then he got new powers, but they weren't the source, so he wasn't possessed by the source anymore. So I hated that. But I did just watch the episode where they finally vanquish him, and it was just as good as I remember. I watched it today with Jacob, and he was like, "Damn, that was good." I was like, "I fucking know." So I do love that. Sometimes I wish their powers went a different direction. So if you haven't read the comics, read the comics. Because in the comics, Piper's powers develop further where she freezes time by slowing down molecules, blows stuff up by speeding up molecules, and then she can individually manipulate the molecules to melt or like physically freeze things. And then eventually she is able to manipulate air molecules, giving her pseudo telekinesis. I love that. That was cool. Phoebe, we figure out what her power is when she's able to electrocute Cal Green. And in the future, in the episode, I think it was season 2, where she gets burnt at the stake in the future. So basically, she can feel the emotions within people using her empathic power, but then she does like a psychic overload where she fries their brain with all the emotions. It's pretty crazy. I love that. And then it's also kind of implied, I might be misremembering it, but I feel like it was implied that empathy was her core power and that all of her other powers were actually evolutions of empathy. Her empathic intuition just didn't fully produce itself until much later. But basically, like, she levitates her body by using her emotional energy to lift herself up. She sees the future by sensing moments of great emotion, pain, joy, suffering, sadness. Because almost 9 times out of 10, her premonitions were about like spooky, like crazy shit happening, where people would experience deep pain, deep sadness, deep fear, whatever. Then, Paige in the comics gets the ability to create orb shields, so she gets force fields, which is fucking crazy and so cool. So I really do love how their powers develop, but I do think it'd be interesting to see how they would develop in a different way. So like, for instance, if Piper focused more on time instead of molecular molecules, I could see her, maybe she learns that she freezes time and then she learns how to heal, kind of like Leo, but instead of doing, I think that my headcanon is that Leo reverses time in an area, because a lot of what he does, especially in the early, is he's restoring things. Like he restores Phoebe's tea, or he restores the P3 sign. He heals it in a way. So I think that would be really cool if Piper was able to do that, because she was able to, in a given area, like Orihime from Bleach, reverses time to bring it back to when that area was healthy. Then she could later do kind of like what Mel does in the reboot, where she could focus on an object and speed the time up, decaying it. So she could create like a decay effect. And then like, also I've envisioned this in my head where like she's like healing somebody, and they're like trying to get out of this magically locked room. So she's also like, she's healing somebody, and then she's trying to bore a hole through the door using decay, like speeding up time in that area. And then someone comes up to her and she like, oh, and puts both of her hands together to freeze them. But instead, like the temporal energy hits and creates a physical blast. Right? Okay. Oh, Brandon, that doesn't fully make sense science wise. Bitch, this is a show about witches. Come on. I think Prue's powers, she would have been able to, with hers, I don't like to think of different powers. I like to think of how they could have further done it. So obviously she gets the ability to move things with her mind. And then eventually she's able to astral project where she says, I can move things with my mind. Why not my conscious? Then I think because it was already hinted at that it was going to become like a cloning power where she could independently like operate her astral self. And then after that, I genuinely believe that after that, she would have been able to like catch up to her astral self, essentially teleporting. Because I think that's something that like with Paige, they were able to use that as like we don't just need Leo to teleport us. So I think it would have been the same with Prue, where she would have been able to okay, like teleport, like astral project somewhere and then move her body and maybe others that she's touching with her to where like catch up with her astral self. I think that would have been really cool. With Phoebe, I think they could have done, I honestly, as much as I love the levitation, I think levitation makes more sense for Prue. She actually can levitate too. I like the empathic twist. Like again, it's either headcanon or implied or real canon that she uses emotional power to levitate herself. But I also think it would have been cool if like they focused more on, I don't even know. Maybe I don't know how they would do it. Or maybe it's about sensing and predicting. So like maybe, she sees the future and then she gains the ability to read mind, or she gains the ability to read emotions. And then she gains the ability to, mimic other people. Like maybe like when she's in a room with somebody, she can use their power, which she does kind of do with empathic mimicry. I think stuff like that would have been a lot cooler. Also like what Maggie's able to do in the reboot. I really love how they did Maggie's power where, she's sensing the emotions and she gets angry and then she can she yells quickly and her rage takes over and she blasts a nearby group of people with this rage of hers by accident, and then they get angry and start beating each other up. So she's like able to calm people, like the racist vampire in Twilight, or like she could, because she's like just relax and then that person is relaxed, or stuff like that. I think would be really fun. I think that would be really cool for Phoebe, and it would have been awesome. I do love the physical manifestation of her power though, like when Maggie blasts her boyfriend away with her hoo-ha because she has so much built up emotional horniness basically, and then she creates a force field at some point. I think that would be really cool, right? Paige had so many powers. They could go in any fucking direction, truly. Do what you want, Paige. There's not if I ever wanted a different take on Paige, I think Phoebe's daughter would be a really cool take on Paige, using that kind of, instead of being White Light or Witch, she's Cupid Witch. And we already kind of see in the comics her use Cupid powers to because they describe that their powers get passed down after their generation. They get passed back down. So Paige has a set of twins, I believe. I think it's Paige. And one of the twins is able to freeze time while the other one is able to blow stuff up. So it's she's able to do those things. Then, Phoebe's baby, her daughter, kind of, I think, gets Paige's power, where she can, summon objects or people to her, but instead of using telekinetic orbing, she uses the pulse teleporting thing that Cupids use, because she's able to basically summon Mama, and then Phoebe is back inside the house. That's how I think that was supposed to be read. I could be wrong. But I just think that all of these things make a lot of sense. I don't love... There's one thing they do in the comics I didn't love. So one thing they did that was amazing. Piper Sell... All right, if you want to read the comics for yourself, skip ahead, I guess. Or we're good. But I'm going to spoil it. So in the comics, really early, Piper sells P3. I love P3. I think it was such a phenomenal way for the show to get like big name artists to perform on the show. I love P3. However, in the comics, she sells P3 to open up her restaurant. Guys, she wasn't a club owner. She was a chef. She wanted to open up her own restaurant. That was the goal from day fucking one. Why she was at Quake's for so long. Quake. Because she wanted to be a chef. And then she got fucked over and ended up becoming a manager. So in the comics, she sells P3 and she opens up a restaurant called Halliwell's. Oh my God. I'm obsessed. I love it. And I feel like her cooking really does kind of take a backseat. Her passion for being a chef is barely felt towards the end of the show. And I hate that because it becomes more of a just like, it's referenced occasionally that she's a great cook, but that's like her passion. Literally, she taught, like, they talk about how she used to do simmer pots even before she was a witch, because Graham's taught her, like, it's just good to throw things into a pot and make something, even if it's not edible. And I think that that's such a big part of her character that was kind of lost in the later seasons of the show. I miss Social Worker Paige. I think I do love Super Witch Paige, but I think even when she became like a white lighter, like as a job, social work made a lot of sense. She was like, that was even what she said she used as her cover, was that she was a social worker. So truly, I do miss Social Working Paige. I also miss Artist Paige. They only bring up the art thing like 3 times. I miss Artist Paige. Phoebe's career, perfect. Oh my God, perfect. It's my dream. Honestly, if I could have any 90s career, I genuinely would want to be an advice columnist like Phoebe. I would love that. Maybe I'll start like an advice column thing. Ask Numa would be so fun. Like as a play on Ask Phoebe. I don't know how I would do that. I think like my community is already a really good size for me, but I think I would need it to be a little bit bigger before I'm like expecting people to send in questions for advice. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And I would try to do it the anonymous style if I could. You know what I mean? Where I would like, you'd be like, Dear Numa, blah, blah, blah. And it would be like, sincerely, Sleepless in Seattle. Like, I think that would be really fun. I want to do that. So if you guys would be down for me to have like an advice column, I'll do that on the podcast. I'll do a separate thing. I'll change it. It won't be the 282. It'll be Ask Numa. I'm into that. So get into that. Okay. So I have one more thing I forgot to mention. I'm working on a couple major videos. They're going to take a little bit longer to make. They are not my normal content. I'm very excited for it. They are more scripted. I mean, my content's super scripted, but I mean more like I'm not doing a presentation. I am doing an actual video essay, I guess, kind of. You guys will see it when it comes out. I won't describe exactly what it is, but it required me to create a virtual box so I could use a Windows XP build. And that's all for now. Another video I'm considering doing. I don't know if I will. I'm going to mention it now because it literally is going to take months to do. But I recently figured out how to do the Animal Crossing City Folk Deluxe patch that like adds in like almost every single Animal Crossing villagers, does a bunch of quality of life updates, adds content, adds items. I think I want to try to play like 60 days of that game. Like actually every single day, log in, do some stuff, record it, and then be done, write a little script for that day, and then put it all together in one big video. So that is something I'm considering doing. I don't know if I will because I'm very bad about dropping a game, but at least if I have a goal, like a day goal, I might do it. And maybe I'll end up wanting to go for longer to make the video better. I don't know. But yeah, so that's something I might be doing. Now, last part of the video, because we are at an hour and a half almost, at least recording. I know this is going to be less than that. But Songs of November. I think I want to do this every month where I want to talk about the songs that have enraptured me. So, okay. Brittany Broski reminded me of she constantly reminds me of my love for Hozier. I've been a Hozier girly since high school. Take Me to Church was the song for me. But Movement by Hozier, get into that. Other Hosier songs that are a part of my November like thing. Foreigner's God is probably one of my favorite songs ever. It is certainly, it might be my favorite Hosier song for sure. Hosier? I don't know. But Foreigner's God is amazing. Rubber Band Man by Mumford and Sons featuring Hosier. So good. Listen to it. It's a newer song. I literally learned about it the last time I tried to record this session. Okay, so then outside of Hosier, similar concept though, View Between Villages by Noah Kahan. Noah Kahan is one of my favorite artists. I love folk music, but I'm very particular about my folk music. His song with Casey Musgraves is also good. I don't remember what it was. And his song with Post Malone. Dude, I don't know what Post Malone's doing right now. I unfortunately love that song he did with Morgan Wallen. I know it was overplayed, so if you work in retail, you hate that song. I really enjoyed it, but this was all before I knew Morgan Wallen was a piece of shit. From what I understand, Hayley Williams keeps her foot on his neck. He seems like the people I went to high school with, if I'm being real. From a very small country town, a lot of people there, got small minds and even smaller personalities. Not everybody. There are good people there. But if you're watching this and you're from my hometown and you're like, I know that fruit basket ain't talking about me, I'm definitely talking about you. Jesus Christ, don't call me a fruit basket. That's crazy. Although it is a really fun way to call me a slur in a way. So I don't know. So View Between Villages by Noah Kahan. Then I have Extra L by Jenny featuring Doechii. Doechii. Why did I extend it? Doechii. Doechii is probably one of my favorite artists. Is it Doechii or Doechii? I think it's just Doechii. Anyways, though, obsessed. That and so I'm loving that song, I will say, by Doechii. It's not on this list, but oh my God. Shit, what is that song? I keep wanting to say Kia Sorento. That's not it. Honda Accord, I guess. You guys know that Nissan Altima, I think. Anyways, love that song too. I can rap most of that with censors, of course. Almost bar for bar. I run out of breath really fast though, so I need to work on my breathing for that. The Hand by Annabelle Dinda. I got turned on to that by a Buffy the Vampire Slayer edit, and it is one of the best songs that I'm listening to right now. Bing Bong by BB No Money featuring Vanilla Mace. I will do anything. I will watch, listen, do anything that Vanilla Mace is a part of. Okay. And she kills it in the chorus. I kind of wish they gave her a verse, low key. I Think I Like You Better When You're Gone by Renee Rapp. I'm going to be so real. I think that Bite Me is probably my album of the year. It is a no skip album for me. I've listened to it. Like I have not stopped listening to songs from it since it came out. Renee Rapp, I am obsessed with you and I love you. And you are like one of the bests. I think she already is one of the greats, but she has the potential to go down as one of the greats too. I love her so much. I Want to Be Bad by Willa Ford. Yeah. So that just makes me feel like a baddie in the early 2000s. Okay. That is the one. Oh my God. That's it though, guys. Oh my God. Okay. So thank you guys so much for watching this. Like I said, I have some stuff cooking. All right. I'm currently getting ready to record in the next day or two a new Digimon video. I'm going to announce it here, so we'll see if like anybody catches it if you watch till the end. The next Digimon video should be a crossover with the video game Dispatch. I'm super excited about it. I had I almost said fan. That's so gross. Ooh. Either way though, I had somebody in my Discord channel suggest it, and I was already considering it. And I'm like, this solidified it. So, and I shot them out officially in the video, so they get a proper shout out. So that's on the way. I'm working on there's 2 videos that I'm working on, or that I'm going to start working on that, like I said, are going to, the only hint you guys are getting is it has to do with a Windows XP machine. So I'm really excited for both of them. One of them is going to be a lot of work, but I'm so hyped for it. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then, I have a couple more Digimon videos that I need to write scripts for and then record. And It's going to be a little bit before the next Power Ranger Digimon crossover. So just bear with me. I have the dispatch video and then a non-crossover video I want to get done first. Then I will move on to the next season of Power Rangers Digimon crossover. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope the audio on this came out really well. I was worried about holding this microphone the whole time, and I might have been problematic because maybe I moved it away too far many times, or I didn't. But either way, I really enjoyed using it. So my arm is not tired like I thought it would be, and I've been yapping for an hour and a half straight. Sorry, I've been yapping for an hour and a half bisexual. So bisexual, no. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, please subscribe, like, and or comment. Feel free to hop in the Discord. There's a link invite to that below, so you can join the 282. You can suggest things. We can maybe start an Ask Numa column that I can go through. And I'm not qualified. I will state this from the get-go. I am not qualified. This is just somebody who loves to help people through things. And if I do the Ask Numa thing and I get a suggestion that's like, help me, I'm in this, I'm going to be like, girl, go to the police. Girl, you need a therapist. I can't do it. I'll tell you. But also in my description, you'll find my TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky. Those are all going to be linked below. I think that's everything, guys. I really love doing these podcasts. This is only my second one. Well, third one if you count actually fourth one if you count the unaired pilot and the failed attempt that I made for this one. I'm gonna keep doing them, whether you guys watch it or not. I'm gonna keep doing them. Okay. All right. Bye. Huh. Ha 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 ha.